My sister and I both graduated from medical school. Sounds like a dream, right? 2 doctors in the family. We both worked incredibly hard, spent countless nights studying, and racked up an insane amount of student loan debt. We were in this together, or so I thought. The day we got our diplomas was one of the proudest moments for our family. Our parents were beaming, telling everyone how they had 2 successful daughters. The celebration was huge, and for a moment, everything felt perfect. We were on top of the world, ready to start our careers and tackle our loans side by side. But then, a few months later, something shifted. I was over at my parents' house for dinner, and the mood was a little different. My sister, Sarah, was unusually quiet, and my parents seemed a bit on edge. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe she was just stressed about starting her residency. We were talking about our financial plans, how we were going to budget and start chipping away at the mountain of debt we'd accumulated. I was laying out my strategy, my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan. I was trying to be optimistic, talking about how we'd eventually be debt-free. That's when my dad cleared his throat. He looked at my mom, then at Sarah, and then finally at me. He said, "Well, honey, about the loans. We've decided to help Sarah out." I smiled, thinking, oh, that's nice of them. Maybe they're giving her a small gift to help with the first few payments. But then he continued, "We've paid off her student loans in full." The fork I was holding clattered onto my plate. Paid them off. All of them. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. I just stared at him, then at my sister. Sarah wouldn't meet my eyes. She just kept staring at her mashed potatoes. I was completely stunned. You paid off her loans." I stammered. "What about mine?" My mom jumped in, her voice a little too cheerful. "Oh, sweetie, we know you're so responsible and good with money. You've always been the independent one. We know you'll have no trouble managing yours." Independent. Responsible. Is that what this was? A punishment for being capable? It felt like a slap in the face. All those years of being the easy child, the one who never asked for much, the one who got good grades without being pushed. Suddenly it felt like I was being penalized for it. The car ride home was a blur. My mind was racing. Why Sarah and not me? We went to the same school, took out similar loans, had the same degree. What made her more deserving of this life-altering gift? I called her as soon as I got home. Her voice was small. "I didn't ask them to do it," she said. "They just offered. They said I seemed more stressed about the debt than you did." Stressed? Of course I was stressed. I just didn't wear my anxiety on my sleeve for everyone to see. I handled it. I made plans. But that didn't mean the weight wasn't crushing me. The conversation with my sister didn't resolve anything. It just created a huge, awkward rift between us. Family gatherings became tense. I couldn't look at my parents without feeling a surge of resentment. They had essentially given my sister a 20-year head start in life. While I would be spending decades of my career sending a huge chunk of my salary to loan companies, she would be investing, buying a house, traveling. The playing field, which we had worked so hard to level through our own efforts, had just been completely tilted by our own parents. I tried talking to my parents again, calmly this time. I explained how unfair it felt, how it made me feel less valued, less loved. My mom just kept repeating, "But you're so strong. We never worry about you." It was like talking to a brick wall. They didn't see it as choosing a favorite, they saw it as helping the needy child. The problem was, their perception of need was based on who complained the most, not on the actual, identical circumstances we were in. Their decision wasn't just about money. It was a message. And the message I received was that my strength was a liability, and my sister's perceived weakness was an asset. This whole situation forced me to reevaluate my relationship with my family. It wasn't about the money anymore, not really. It was about the feeling of being left behind by the very people who were supposed to have my back. I started distancing myself. I focused on my residency, pouring all my energy into my work. I built a new support system with friends and colleagues who understood my struggle. I set up an aggressive payment plan for my loans and even started a small side hustle to bring in extra income. It was incredibly difficult, but with every payment I made, I felt a sense of pride. I was doing this on my own. Years have passed since then. I've paid off a significant portion of my loans, through sheer grit and determination. My relationship with my parents and sister is cordial, but it's not the same. The warmth is gone, replaced by a polite distance. Sometimes, I see Sarah's posts on social media, her beautiful house, her exotic vacations, and for a second, the old anger flares up. But then I look at my own life, at what I've built for myself, and I feel a different kind of wealth. A wealth of resilience, independence, and self-respect. My parents' decision hurt me deeply, but in the end, it taught me that the only person I can truly rely on is myself. And that's a lesson no amount of money can buy. What do you think? Was I right to feel so hurt, or should I have just been happy for my sister? The whole experience has been a roller coaster, and honestly, it's shaped who I am today in more ways than I can count. It's a tough situation, and it really makes you think about family, fairness, and what it means to be independent. Thanks for listening to my story. It feels good to finally get it all out. If you've been through something similar, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life stories. See you next time.